So I remember when I was a little girl, none of this was here. It was so much different. And so just in 35 years, the vast amount of change. And then, of course, with the growth that's happening currently, like you couldn't have entered the market and entered the scene at a more perfect moment because it is wild.
So I used to grow up every Saturday or Sunday, or at least once a month, go to Samsonville because we didn't have one.
With development where it seems like areas that are, kind of starting to grow up a little bit, how much more room do we have to grow?
Hey guys, it's Rachel Brantingham with Hometown Hustle, and I'm here with my co-hosts Grafton, Sizemore, and Brittany Jackson, and we are so excited. We have a very special guest that I can't wait to introduce to you. But before I do that, I do just want to say we did not expect the warm welcome that we've received in regards to this podcast, and we are so excited. We have a huge lineup for you guys that we're going to be bringing all like hometown local people that are going to be coming here and sitting down with us. And I'm an autobiography girl. I love reading people's stories, and this is such a cool opportunity to sit down and actually get to hear from them firsthand about their lives, what they do, their success stories, their failures. So today, I am so excited to introduce this guy to you. You know him. He is well known in our community. He is in the buzz. He is aware of what's happening. He understands what's moving and shaking. So I'm super excited to introduce to you all Nathaniel Bryan. You guys have seen him in his posting on social media, on Facebook. He is the go-to guy for pretty much everything happening in Hardin County. So, Nathaniel, thank you for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. When you said you could have me on, I was like, all right, it would be 3-4 weeks. Like, oh, Sunday. All right, let's roll.
When we got some of the feedback that we did with a lot of the posts that we made about this coming on, and we had already shot some episodes, and we were looking and we were like, oh, we didn't think people would be this interested. We thought it'd be our families watching.
Yeah, we were like 5 people, right?
So we apologize for that first episode for how terrible that it probably is for those who watch. But now that we're getting into it, when we saw it and there was so much demand for people wanting to hear from you, right? Because you've kind of been the guy to put out a lot of things in Etown lately, and a lot of people want to hear what you have to say. And for us, we want to hear your story. We want to hear, how you got to the point that you got to, how you started kind of in this community. I know myself and Brittany, she can probably attest to it. We know you from local sports. When we played sports back in school, so we had some interviews from you, and things kind of come full circle. The interviewer becomes the interviewee,
Yeah, it was strange because whenever I saw that Brittany was a part of it, I knew it was your local realtor, and I found her on my phone because I knew I'd sent her a story a long time. I was like, man, that was a long time ago. It was like November 12th, 2010. I still have the headline on my phone and still have the link.
That is so cool.
Obviously, the link has changed. I remember interviewing her at Freeman Lake Park. I think it was after either a cross-country meet or a cross-country race. You'd come back off that injury, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was you coming back to like your last hurrah type of thing.
Yeah. My shoulder always gave me some problems. I remember looking very nice after running and then getting a picture for the paper. It was perfect timing. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit how you got started in that. Tell us where you got started here in Hardin County and where your kind of love from journalism in general came from.
So I'm born and raised in Hardin County. I grew up in Glendale Junction because I say that because we have an Etown address, but it's a 369 phone number. So, but we could never vote in the Etown election. So it's, and so I grew up there. My parents still live there. They live off 222. They could see the cranes of the massive plant from their second story of their house.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
You could walk there if there were actual sidewalks. But yeah, they're that close to the plant. I went to the old Sonora Elementary. For some of you all, if you remember, there was one before it became Creekside. I went there. I went to East before it moved, and went to Central before the renovations. So all the schools I went to have either gone or massive renovations or move. I went to ECC. They had just brought back a intro to journalism class. It was taught by Suzanne Darland, and she was a former journalist. And they brought the class back, and I was very interested in it. There's me, like Stephen McCullough, who used to do radio, and a guy from the MK Messenger, Glenn, was a part of that group. And then at that time, an opening for the News Enterprise popped up to be a clerk, secretary, the under 6 smash competed this tournament. They have all their cheesy camp that. So I used to type all those in. That's how I started. It's just basic stuff. And then a few months later, that reporter left, and they need somebody to cover something. And I had my first article published when I was 19.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome.
And I wrote for the paper for about 15 years. Obviously covered tennis. I remember you covered cross country galore in the rain or cold or whatever it is, hot days in August and whatever we looked into at the horse park, and did all that. I was covered golf for several years. I was honored by the Golf Association for whenever the Women's Am was at Etown Country Club.
You didn't hear from me there because I was on the JV team. I didn't make it to
we ran JV results though, so I knew once you said the name, you said it, I was like, oh yeah, now I got it. Covered usually primarily soccer in the fall, some football. And in the spring, I did usually softball. So I saw all the the good North Hardin teams, the good Central teams. LaRue, the year that they shocked everybody. Meade County, and I did all that. And then we had a falling out in 2015, which was fine. I was out of work for a few months. I found Best Buy at a job fair, and I started there just as a temp. And I worked my way up from a picker-packer to there, and they needed somebody to do some paperwork. And the guy looked at my resume. He said, "Are you good with paperwork?" I said, "No, I'm great with paperwork." I created a stat sheet used by sports writers across the country. It's like, I do numbers. I'm fine. And they put me this thing, and I worked my way up, and now I'm a coordinator. There's usually 70 or 80 people under me on a given day.
Wow.
I love what I do at Best Buy. The benefits are fantastic. I get 30 vacation days a year. Like I posted on social media that I hurt myself. I had a pinched nerve, which I'm getting old. I've got the gray hair to prove it. I was out for 6 weeks and it was fully paid.
That's amazing.
You don't get that at many companies.
No,
so
you don't.
It's like I love what I do. And in my spare time, I was obviously bored. People wonder if I was getting depressed, and that's where I really started growing, and it was probably like last 6, 7, 8 weeks. I was posting a bunch on social media because I had nothing else to do. I did not have a work from home job. So basically I was just off. So anytime something happened, when Malibu Jacks first broke, I was all over that, went over some of this other stuff. And so if I posted it, I believed in it. I would backtrack it. I would drive around. My wife and I, that's one thing I could do was drive around, and anytime I saw dirt being moved, I called Dirt Works a couple times. I could say, "Hey, what are you all doing?" Or if I figured out who was behind it, I'd call and ask. And I think it really just shot up in the last 6, 7, 8 weeks. So it's like, this is bizarre to me. I go to a restaurant, it's like, "Hey, you're that Facebook guy."
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. Good for you.
Right.
My wife doesn't like the spotlight at all. Like she's my wife's she's a travel agent. She has her own. And usually I don't charge for anything I do at all. So I tell them, "Hey, if you want to support me, support her," because she's a local small business. She's born and raised in Hardin County as well. Her parents
How'd you two meet?
My younger brother, who's a teacher in LaRue County, and her best friend and my younger brother knew each other because he coached her in volleyball.
Okay.
And she says, "Hey, I've got this coworker who's looking for somebody." And my younger brother's like, "Oh, that's funny. My older brother's looking for somebody." And she was working at the Glendale McDonald's, so a mile from me, where I was still living with my parents. We first met. Our first date was at Movie Palace.
Those are good days.
Oh, yeah.
At Zaxby's. And we watched The Hangover, so romantic.
That's a good first date. Right.
A little bit raunchy.
Memorable.
Did she laugh? Because if she
Oh
laughed,
yeah, she did. I mean, and she's not like a raunchy comedy person, but she obviously it's a funny movie. Like, I don't know how you can watch an entire movie and not laugh at least once.
Right.
Exactly.
We've done that. We've traveled
How
quite
long
a
have
bit.
you guys been married now?
11 years.
Oh, congratulations.
That's awesome.
And she's a travel agent, so that is why you guys get to travel so much, isn't it?
Well, we're starting to figure out what we can and can't write off. We were traveling way before that. We honeymooned in Vegas, and we had turbulence in Tulsa, so she hit her head on the window.
Oh, no.
We got buried at Brown Pusey, and we lost all of our gift cards. I left them on top of a truck, we think.
Oh, no.
And I thought we put them in the back seat, so we went back and was like, "Okay, where's all of our money?"
Yeah.
We spent 2 hours looking. We went back. Her brother had made us chocolate covered strawberries. They were all smashed, but didn't find any of the cards.
No.
So, it didn't hurt us too bad because we still had other stuff, and most of the stuff was already paid. So this would have affected like merch and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it made for a memorable.
I bet. Well,
Yeah, it was-
you say that, and I'm the guy who do the same thing. As before we started this, it took me 10 minutes to find out where I set my drink, and luckily Rachel is here to help pick me up on that kind of stuff. But it happened. So now that you've kind of, I guess, work in an area that's outside here, like, do you come home when you're trying to find out some of these things that you're putting out? And like, right, we should let some people know that some things that you have, like they're legitimate, right? That you know that they're happening. Some things are just hearsay. It happens. That's kind of the thing. But what I wanted to see is when you, I don't want to ask for your sources or nothing like that, right?
No.
But what I think a lot of people would like to know is, do you just come home from work and say, "I'm going to go find out what's happening over there today"? Like, how does that work for you?
Usually, I will say almost every Saturday or Sunday, we're out driving around. Like, I'm a creature of habit. I like my croissant. I like my Katie Bacon from from Hardee's, and we'll go to croissant at Burger King, and we'll go drive around. Or if it's at lunch, like McAllister's, people know me very well. People see that I love their smoky pepper jack turkey. And there's one day I walked in, I get this Facebook message, and I didn't know the manager. I know a couple of people there, but not the manager. She said, we'd like to offer you a free meal. I'm like, who are you? And why are you doing this? And I promoted their free sweet tea day. And I don't drink sweet tea. I'm diabetic. But I was like, but I love McAllister's. They've always treated me great. It's one of the best meals. I'm always consistent service across the board. I go in that next day, and I show this. It's like, is this legit? Like, you're that guy. I'm like, here we go. Courtney's like, what's going on? I said, I have no idea. This might be fake. They offered me a free meal. They never once, hey, do you want to get paid for what you do? It's like, no, I just do it because I support the local community. I love this community. I always have. I feel fortunate to grown up here and make the friendships that I have. Like, I didn't know really either of you two. I knew your name from because my dad used to be a business, but I knew your name because I saw the last name, and obviously I've known Brittany from sports like 15 years ago, and then she left and came back, and I followed her because she's a realtor. But I've met so many people. Aaron Cundiff, who's one of the administrators of a group, and Scott Lucas.
Yeah.
And we know of each other. They know of my parents, but we don't know each other. I've never met. I've never had coffee with them. We never vacationed together.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, oh, you have all these contacts. It's like, yeah, they know who I am.
Right.
It's not like we're best friends where I'm like, oh, you keep your dog. Okay, sure. So, but it's been great that just all the branches I've reached out to me and said, hey,
so cool.
all the contacts I've been able to make because they trust who I am.
Yeah, for sure.
Famous in a small town.
And I think the knowledge is my power. It's like I don't own a business. I'm not like you all and taking chances on design or I'm going to see if I can sell this and redo this property. I don't have that type of ability. My ability is my knowledge and my reach, and I'm perfectly okay with that. That's fine with me. I don't make any money doing it. I don't think I'll ever try to make money doing it. I don't want to edit. I don't want to do graphics. I'll put it out there on Facebook. I might make a simple blog on WordPress or whatever. That's about it. But I'm okay with that.
But it's been amazing to see like the way the community looks for that information. Because, I mean, I'm sure, and you could probably more, the way the community has adjusted and grown in my lifetime. I'm 35, right? So I remember when I was a little girl and none of this was here. You know, it was so much different. And so just in 35 years, the vast amount of change. And then, of course, with the growth that's happening currently, like you couldn't have entered the market and entered the scene at a more perfect moment because it is wild how much quickly the environment, our local environment is adjusting. So
I agree with that. Somebody was posted on the Radcliffe group yesterday, said, hey, I just moved here in May. Can you name me a good dentist? And I could name about 5 or 6 off the top of my head because of the contacts we have. Said, hey, welcome to this community because I think you've entered a renaissance at this time. I mean, I think, Brittany, you would agree, building a realtor, it's hot. Like, it is so amazing to watch what's become like. And growing up here, like I said, I guess I'm the old man on set with the gray hair and being 43. I remember when Cracker Barrel got built.
Oh, really?
That was what started in 94. Like, nothing was there. I think the gas station on the opposite side might have been there, but that's about it. Wow. And then I think Cracker Barrel, Shoney's, Roadhouse, and then Loop wasn't even there at all.
Wow.
And then I remember, and one of the other ones I have is like when Sam's got here, it's like, all right.
we're
legitimate.
Yeah, we've got to.
Because I used to grow up every Saturday or Sunday, or at least once a month, go to Sam's in Louisville because we didn't have one.
Yeah,
like you had to go there.
I remember that too. We would make a trek up there. My dad.
I grew up on sour straws. I don't know if that's what led to my diabetes or not. But
I better stop then because I eat like a bag of candy like on a regular basis at work every day.
I bring candy to work all the time. Like, aren't you diabetic?
Don't worry about it.
But people like candy.
Well, and if for me, like seeing some of your stuff that's kind of popped out on there, I remember when I saw the kind of announcement for Drake's, and for me that was the legitimate. When we got the Drake's, I was so excited, so happy for that coming, and I'm like, we're starting to get these franchises that are only in the big larger cities here. Now, granted, I know they've gone maybe Owensboro, a couple other places like that now. But
Danville's got one. I passed it on the other day when I drove to Gatlinburg.
And I'm seeing, I'm like, okay, like we're starting, and they're packed, and they're rolling. And it's not just them; like all of our restaurants are packed on a regular basis now, and it's from, I think, the growth that we've seen. So, with that growth over the last, let's say, 20, you said 2000s roughly, kind of when you started in journalism.
Yeah, I was still 18, 19. Yeah.
So from 2000 to now, if you would look back at yourself in 2000, what would you have told yourself now? Like, hey, this is what Etown's going to become. What kind of conversation would you have imagined any of this?
Oh no, like I don't think no one ever saw Movie Palace closing, the town mall becoming what it's becoming, Etown Swim. Yeah, I think all of us had a moment there or two. My dad helped build it. My original card at Etown Swim I signed when I was sick. I was a lifetime member, which expired, but yeah, I'm still alive. I think it was 20 years.
The life expectancy.
But my signature on there was like a squiggle or something because I couldn't write my name at the time. But you had to sign it. They wouldn't let your just repairs do it. You had to do it. I thought it was just strange for 6.
Right.
So I don't think anybody assumed like what would happen on what's become on Ring Road, Menards, and all that development back there. The fact that you've got Freddy's going in at one quarter, Car Wash going in there, Servants Valley moving. I think Servants Valley and St. We're all around the age where we probably grew up or knew of Servants Valley or St. James in the original locations.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep, I went
And to
there.
see them both move
Yep.
is, I don't think, there's no way I would have foreseen that.
Yeah, it's like when you see that stuff from 20 years ago. We were kids, right? Yeah. We were in elementary and middle school, and you see all these things coming, and then we were like, oh, we're growing a little bit. And I look back at it now, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, and I remember as like a little girl sitting in on like conversations with my dad, and him being in construction and development. Of course, that was like a daily conversation, but always knew that Elizabethtown was kind of identified as a corridor of growth, right? We're right in such a great pass through, so, and of course with Fort Knox, and so there was something that Fort Knox really kept our market conditions steady, but then of course with the added additional
stuff like that.
Yes. So sitting in those conversations, I think there was always this thought that this is what we were identified for, and it would happen at some point. But to see it in my lifetime and be a part of it and be in real estate and construction, like it's fun to have your hands in the middle of it. It's a cool time to be in Etown.
Oh, I'm amazed every time I see something else. Like I know your all's blue houses because I live off 210. I pass them every single day. But y'all do a great job. And every time I see another, like, well, there's another one of those, or there's another development I didn't see.
Yeah.
Like there's no way I could be a pizza driver in this town.
Oh man, you're not wrong.
I don't know the
cannot
roads.
imagine. I cannot
I'm like, what?
imagine.
You mentioned that. I was like, where is that?
Yeah, well, it's like before, you could do landmarks and things like that. The landmarks are changing so much now. Wait, you got to think of this. It's not what we used to say to go by. It's no longer. I remember my parents were teachers. My mom taught at Bluegrass Middle, and when she taught at Bluegrass, it used to have the old, was it the J Mart, like the gas station that was right there in front of it.
There.
And I would always tell people, oh, it's, by that. And now I was like, wait a minute, it's a Pizza Hut now. It's, it's all these things change, and it really helps us, understand the growth that we're having. But so I'm in numbers. I'm a numbers guy. So I'm in mortgages. I do those kind of things. But with you all being in real estate and you kind of doing what you do on the weekends and things like that, what do you see for, and this is completely speculation on what you all might think would happen, any of you guys, but we see a lot going on with development where it seems like areas that are, kind of starting to grow up a little bit. How much more room do we have to grow?
I think we still have plenty. People are shocked that, like, oh, there's all this thing, like Ring Road there's still, you drive by it, you turn past the mall, go towards Central Hardin. There's at least 4 different huge ones right at the corner of Patriot Parkway. There's one right there. You go past there, like past the Etown Animal Hospital. There's huge stuff. EIF still sending stuff.
Yep.
You've got that Central Hardin development that's about to hit. I think it's called the Ascend, if I've looked it up correctly. 1,100 doors plus 22 acres of commercial plus a 9-acre city park.
That's
it goes
crazy.
almost all the way down to Gaither Station. There it goes all the way down to the cemetery on the other side. Like Central Hardin just got done renovating, and now if this happens, they're going to renovate again. Or they're going to move kids to John because John can take it. John probably should have a lot more students than what it has. I was told when they built it, it was supposed to be John, Central North were all supposed to be the same size. John never. I mean, you went to there. It never was. That's a.
Well,
huge
I was at North, but yeah.
John's a huge school.
Yeah, for sure. I switched. My parents taught there, but we lived in North District, so I stayed at North. But
yeah, John's a huge physical school, other than the gym. And some of those, I was told some of those classrooms aren't even being used. At least maybe 5-6 years ago, and that might have changed with redistricting.
For sure.
I think we're going to need another high school. I've always been told, like South Hardin's been talked about.
Yeah.
If they have an invitational tournament, that would be a little bit strange. They may just have to call it like this Bobcat Invitational or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Etown Catholic, they've been talking around and said, and St. James has room to expand over there. Like, does Bethlehem stay the way it is, or do they finally say, okay, we're going to have to go build another Catholic school down here because we're growing so fast?
It is. It seems like the growth is coming. And then, everybody knows about the factories that are being here, Ford coming in, all that kind of stuff. But I think what people don't sometimes realize is the other jobs that come with that to support all of that. We've got to have more grocery stores. We've got to have more doctors. We've got to have more lawyers, whatever it might be. There's got to be more realtors. There's got to be, there's a saying that we have kind of in our industry, at least, that we use sometimes is there's enough business in this town to go around. Right.
Oh, yeah.
We have our competitors, right? And that's great. And we're competitive people, don't Am I wrong?
Yeah,
We're competitive
we are.
people, but as this grows, we've got to be able to support all of that. So when people see, projected numbers growth and all that kind of stuff about this area, they think, oh, how's that going to happen so quickly just because of a plant coming out? And I get that thought process, but I also sit there and think, wow, it takes a lot to support those families that are coming in.
Yeah, like you look at Glendale. Like I said, I grew up at Glendale Junction. The road has now been changed since then. Now I have to go all the way back around a curve on the backside of Sports Lake just to get back to 222 again. But what used to be, I think it was a gas station convenience store, is now slated to be a 6-spot mini mall.
Wow.
I mean, if you're going with Glendale's, like, all right, Glendale's got a mini mall. How did this happen? I know there's been talk of a hotel going down there, which makes sense when you've got a 4,000.
Yep.
I've been talked that Kroger's been looking down there, or some other Dollar General Marketplace, Dollar Tree Marketplace. A lot of those spots are getting taken up. You've had land that was farmland for years that's now going to be commercial. That's going to be residential for subdivisions. I mean, I'm sure you're all aware there's been plans that they've changed, but that Glendale Junction 86 exit, and I'm not so sure Sonora won't get hit too.
Yeah.
I've been talking to because you're 6 miles on the other side. Why not? Mumfordville has been getting a lot of growth because of the plant in Etown and the plant that's coming to Bowling Green. Like Mumfordville's growing like hotcakes. Vine Grove has, I think, tripled in the last 15 years, I think.
Oh, yeah. Vine Grove
I think
is...
it's got like 8,000 or 9,000 now. It's, like, it's bigger than Hodgeville. People still say
Well,
Vine
it's
Grove
such a
is
great
small.
place because as Etown fills up and the price, for housing and living kind of goes up a little bit, I see Rineyville's growth, Vine Grove's growth. I mean, even Hodgenville's experiencing some growth out that direction, which I expect to see more as things expand.
Talk about building a
here in Etown.
hotel like on the square, or I think on the square in downtown Hodgenville.
Yeah. I would love to see some development down the south end of Etown. I think I don't know if we'll see it
We
anytime
talked
soon.
off camera about it, but I'll bring it up. I'm a South Ender. Like I grew up 222, so I grew up going to the grocery at whenever Dolphin Drive opened. I was old enough to remember when Dolphin Drive Kroger opened, so you could still be there in 10 minutes. I mean, 3 minutes on the interstate, you go 86, get off at 94, and then back on Mulberry. I mean, I could get groceries in 15, 20 minutes, depending on traffic, but miles-wise, it's not that bad. But the South End, I think, finally getting that Dollar General helped. The racetrack has been great.
Oh, the racetrack. Yep.
If people don't know, the thing going next to it is Quick Trip, which I found that out from a Fort Knox baseball coach because he was from Oklahoma and Quick Trip's based in Oklahoma.
Okay.
He said, hey, Quick Trip's coming. I was like, they're not in Kentucky. What are you doing? I know you just got here, but you're wrong. He's like, no, Nate, hear me out. I'm like, okay. So I put it out there. It's like, yeah, we're covered. It is. And then I finally found it listed. It said Quick Trip, and they actually cleared the land. I think Dunkin' Donuts going out there.
Yeah,
it may seem a little bit early now, but give it about 2 years.
The drive-thru was packed.
Yeah, like I think it just depends what time you do it. 'Cause I think just because you see a parking lot empty, the restaurant's not.
Correct.
No, like
Correct.
I could go by, and I love McDonald's. My wife works for McDonald's. She's worked with them for, I think she's 25 years, longer than we've been together. But sometimes at 3 o'clock, they may be dead, but right before school, they're probably getting hit.
I'm not a morning person, so I will never see how packed Dunkin' is. Now, on the flip side, my brother and sister-in-law live on the south end, and they are there constantly. So I know it's getting hit. But when I drive by, it's 10 o'clock in the morning when I'm, maybe going over to their house or something like that. And it's crazy to see some of that growth there. But so when you're talking about, and just to clear this up, some of the stuff that people see and see you put out there, it's different. So you're not technically truly working in journalism, right? I mean,
no.
it's freelance. You're doing this stuff on your
It's
own.
a hobby.
It's a hobby. So there's going to be times when you're right and when you're wrong, right?
Oh, I was wrong a few weeks ago. Twice in one post. That was great. People are like, you're an idiot.
We've been there.
But it was the that little church thing that moved right next. I think it's Baskin Robbins in the empty spot, and I said it was an old computer place. It's like, no, they're still there. I had the wrong location and the wrong name.
Yeah.
0 for 2. Fixed it, so it's correct. I said, if I'm ever wrong, just let me know. And there's a post today I made about Cosmic Golf Course or Cosmic Golf coming over to Heartland, and I called it all Cosmic Golf. No, the golf course is still Heartland Golf Course.
For sure.
Cosmic is everything else. And I had to clarify that, and I said former Heartland Golf. No, it's still Heartland. There's no former Pine Valley, but Heartland is still there. Heartland Golf Course is still open. They're still doing fine. And I did it wrong, and I fixed it. I said, all right, yep, I messed up.
And that happens, and I think that people sometimes realize quickly, like, hey, we all can kind of do that, but we all want to know. It's like at the end of the day, a lot of people in this area, in this town, they really don't know what's going on. And you've brought that to a lot of people, to kind of some of that breaking stuff, which I think a lot of our community really, really respects you for.
You can just tell, like, they in your post, there's always a ton. And it's funny because they either love the information or hate the information, but they enjoy.
You can never be perfect for anybody, right?
Conversation.
Yeah.
Well, somebody a few days ago, I'm pretty sure it's a fake account because they had just had a little gray square face.
Keyboard warriors, right?
They think I was getting trolled. Thanks, Shrek. But they said, you're a fraud. I'm like, okay, that's a new one. Like, how we figure? He's like, all you do is post about these certain people. You have all your friends. You're getting paid off. You don't do this. Like, all you have to do is send me an email or send me a message. And like, I didn't know you all when we reached out. I knew of you. It's like, oh yeah, let's do this. Yeah. A lot of people. I found out about the Cat Cafe off of a post that somebody replied to. Like, I didn't break news. Like, oh, I'm gonna see what's going here. Oh, it's a Cat Cafe. I'm gonna break that up. No, somebody just posted it. And I was like, all right, let me look into it. Turns out it's like, yes. To be clear, camera on me, Etown is getting a Cat Cafe. I'm not joking. It's going to happen.
No, so location to be TBD.
The location's been determined. It is Lucy and Oscar's Cat Cafe. They don't have an Instagram yet. The person that actually sold it let me know too. It's the O'Neills.
Okay.
If you know that family, they're the ones that are behind it. It's going to be in the spot next to USA Bridal.
Okay.
So basically,
great.
When we talk about old things, it's still the old Coke plant to me.
Yeah, it is.
You can put all you want.
Yeah.
It's the old Coke plant.
Yes.
Right.
And that's the old Freeman Lake entrance.
Yeah, it is. 100%.
Don't care what the official name is. I really don't.
Right.
But they're going there. They're supposed to be open in January. They will have Instagram and Facebook stuff coming up. And I'm sure I'm going to go. My wife will not be going. She's allergic to cats.
I am too. I'm with your wife.
Whenever we were dating, my wife kept getting sick. And we couldn't put two and two together. Well, figured out it was from when I went to go home to see my parents. They had a cat, so when the cat hair got on me, I brought it home. So I basically had to stop going inside or whatever until the cat died because it was making her sick. Like she was sick for months until we figured out what was going on.
So really severe allergy
To cats. We have a dog. We love our dog. But I grew up with cats and dogs. I grew up on a farm in Glendale, so I'm used to animals.
Yeah.
Well, and you were saying a little bit about kind of how you come about some of that information and not getting paid and all that. That's part of what makes all of this so fun is we're seeing so much stuff pop up. And when you were saying, like, you find it from this person, you find it from that person, I think a lot of people don't realize the investigative journalism thing behind stuff. I bet you get a lot from public records. Am I wrong?
Oh, yeah. I have the Planning and Zoning Commission bookmarked. and I know about a week before their commission dates, the agenda is going to be on there. And that's why you've seen me screenshot it. I put the meeting agenda out there. I was like, okay, here's what happened. That's how I figured out that place out by Central Hardin was called the Ascend because it was listed in the official minutes.
For sure.
I'll go through building permits. And like when I was still at the News Enterprise, the people that were building what became Hobby Lobby, that area. I forget the official name of that corridor, but the official development. But Hobby Lobby and the sports store, the Academy
Sports, yeah.
And then the little shopping center, which got Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
They put out a little development plan. And there was a real little circle, a real little logo that I blew up. It was Buffalo Wild Wings. It had not been announced yet.
Yeah.
So
and then I went to building permits and saw they had they all have different company names, but we know that people hide behind stuff.
Yeah.
And I Googled it and I was like, that's Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's like Disney bought up all the.
And I wasn't the business reporter. I told our staff, like, Buffalo Wild Wings coming to Etown. I was like, there's no way we're going to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's like, that's the logo. That's the owner. Put two and two together.
Yeah.
About a week later, they wrote the story, Buffalo Wild Wings Lots Way. And people were like, oh, my goodness.
So how different is it now from when you were in journalism with the News Enterprise versus back then? Like, it seems like information is so different in how it gets portrayed to consumers or to your viewers now versus what it was then. Like, we were always reading the paper or something like that. I remember in elementary school, we would see that we would have like physical copies of the paper all the time, but now everything's kind of gone to online. It's breaking stuff online. What has that change kind of been like on the journalism side of things?
I still have a lot of good friends in journalism. The News Enterprise still does a great job. I'm not bitter toward any of them. Gina Clear does great. Cody Brenniger. A lot of other people do Brian Walker I'm friends with on radio, and he worked at News Enterprise when I was there. I'm friends with Greg Milby. I'm friends with Kevin Jaggers. They all do a good job. I'm not going to say, I don't want to break anything. If somebody tells me what's coming to the K-pop building, I will share it because I don't know what's going on.
No idea, right?
Zero clue. Lincoln Center Building 3, don't have an idea. Nope.
For sure.
I just want that place to open
Is
already.
Chipotle coming? I have no idea. If somebody can break it, I will share it. It's like I'm not going to be jealous at all. I don't get that way. If you beat me, you did your job. Thank you. I will share it. Like I'm not going out. I'm not going to be vindictive. But yeah, you're right. A lot of stuff I get is Facebook. Like off camera, we were talking. I learned that Etown Snack Hut is moving out of the mall because of a Facebook post. I learned that Nikki's Knickknacks, who's done a great job in that Big Lots, that's a hard area to succeed in. Like that building is old.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's starting some sort of food distribution, maybe some sort of grocery or something.
Oh, cool.
And she announced that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like
So you're just collecting what you're driving around.
See
you're
what
on
I'm saying?
social
Facebook.
media.
Occasionally somebody will text me because they have my number, or somebody else has their number, say, hey, this person reached out to me. You might want to look into this.
Yeah.
And or they'll reach out to Courtney because Courtney's number is listed.
Well, and it's so cool because what it does is it puts a spotlight on what's happening, but also for those small businesses who, maybe somebody isn't aware that they're coming or that they're here or that they're open. And you do a great job. Like I'll watch your posts and occasionally I'll be like, oh, it'll be something that I'm not aware of, which I've lived here all my life, but I don't know every small business in Hardin County. And so you'll highlight somebody and I'll be like, man, I haven't been there in a long time.
Like the Rose bridal store. Do I have any reason to be talking about bridal? I'm married. I think I'm good. They saw this, like, oh, because they were having 25% off. So that could be huge for a small business. If just even 5 or 6 people see that one person buys something, that could change their day.
Well, and you've kind of become somewhat on our social media sites, like the community pages, things like that people go to for some of that information, and it just kind of happened organically, it seems. You shared a few posts, you put out a few things you saw from other people, and then people are following you like crazy, and you're scouring and doing all the research online, and then you're sharing it out. So you may not be the first one to put it out, but you're giving credit a lot of the times where I see where
I'll just share
due.
them.
You'll
I will
share
share the
that
post. I'm not going to
just
ignore them posts completely. I will share them, maybe put a comment, hey, this is going to be here. It's open. Here's a website. Here's a phone number. Whenever Blazers expanded and did their thing, I'm not going to hang out in Blazers. I'm pretty sure I would break the equipment if I tried, or they might kick me out. But she reached out to me. I've never talked to the person. She said, hey, can you put this out there? I was like, sure. All you had to do was ask. Like,
That's
there's
awesome.
There's a guy that does coral for aquariums. I think it's the Bourbon Coral Company. I was like, I didn't know it existed until he reached out.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you want me to come by and take some photos? And last time I had a fish, I'm pretty sure I killed it or ate it. One of the two.
Killed it or ate it.
It's a fish. Sorry, Goldie. Well, I think
so
goldfish
funny.
in cold water probably wasn't a good idea.
I killed mine too. Okay.
But who would have thought we had that concept in Hardin County? And
Yeah.
if you have an aquarium, that might be something you want to get hooked up to. Say,
a very niche market that needs exposure.
Oh, definitely. I know Kevin Stafford, and I've been talking to him about he does bourbon candles.
Yeah. Oh, I've bought some of his candles.
And I was
Absolutely.
like, he does a great job.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I got a bunch of people that drink at work. You want to just keep the bottles? Because I'm on the green committee.
Yeah.
And it's like, that would be a great idea. I was like, I have no problem. I think we could round some bottles.
A lot of drinking
But that's
friends.
another business that's organically grown.
Absolutely.
He had the drive, he had the vision, he had the heart. To like, all right, I like this. It's a hobby. Let's see if we can make a business out of it. And he has.
And it's not easy to do.
No, and that's one of those, like, it's like we had a list of questions like, hey, what would you like to see? Something like that on the square in Etown. I think would be great. I'm not trying to force it. It may not be the best business move, but something like that I think would be great. When we ask questions, what would be good for Hardin County? Like, that is such an open-ended question, because are you talking business? Are you talking personal? Are you talking like a big development?
Yeah.
Are we talking saving Etown Swim? I mean, there's so many different things you could do, and it goes so many different ways. And I don't have the money. I'm not a builder.
Right.
I don't have the land.
Yeah.
So I'm just an ideas guys. I can say, well, based on all my travels, this might work, or based on people talking, like people say, well, the cat cafe may not, whatever. Well, 300 people liked it, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it seems like there's some interest.
why would
right?
somebody do it? Like, that tells you.
And you can tell, like, the community, we have a close-knit, tight community that it's very involved and excited. Like,
Yeah.
there's, no matter what we talk about, whether they love it or don't like it, there's involvement in that, in the conversation around it. And, like, I think one time it was really just for fun to just see the responses I had put in there, like, what would you guys like to see come to Hardin County? And I think there was, like, several hundred
Pages,
comments of, like, we'd love to see this, we'd love to see this. And some of those have actually happened over the last couple years.
I've said, if y'all see the post, I said Malibu Jacks. I was wrong. I've said it. I will repost it. I will share it again after this just to show it. I was wrong. I said, there's no way we're ever going to get Malibu Jacks. It's Louisville, it's Lexington, it's big cities. They say no, we have Malibu Jacks. Like, okay, that's fine.
Well, and that stuff happens. We do it in our own jobs, right? Like,
yes.
And don't get me wrong, journalism is very. I did high school journalism. You were talking about Gina Clear. She was my high school journalism teacher. She taught me a lot and everything there is to know on the journalism side of things. And I was the sports editor when we did all that. And you get held to a higher standard sometimes in journalism, and I get it. And I know you're doing more freelance stuff now, but the big thing is it's people. You get a lot more harsh words when you're wrong in journalism, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Oh, no.
There's a spotlight on you when you say
I think
something.
You're reporting on something that changes on a dime, though.
Absolutely.
Corporations they may have identified a spot and they're coming and everything looks good, and with one vote, one decision, that all changes and they're no longer coming. So I think you're also reporting on something that is so quickly adjusted.
When I was a journalist, that I could write something great. I spent a lot of time doing this. I rewrote it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't make an error, and then somebody's like, "Oh yeah, that was good." But you cover a big ball game and you get somebody's points and say 17 instead of 7, or you leave out one Ellen Williams or somebody like that, and it's just
and even then, people don't realize how fast that stuff had to be edited and put out. I mean, because
yeah.
you're doing it the night at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we still had a nightly. So most basketball games usually get over 9:15.
Yeah.
You have an hour to get the stats, and that's if. And back then, you're probably keeping the stats yourself, so you still have to compile them. Now you're lucky if somebody has a computerized stats, you can just type them in and say, or give this box and say, I got nothing else to do. I'll take your box score for you. But if you kept your own stats, I can't do that for you because they're your stats. And then you have to write the story, get the quotes. Sometimes I'm still listening to the tape recorder, which showing my age. Tape recorder, not a phone.
I remember those. Brittany remembers those. We got recorded.
I remember the Tandies.
Yeah.
We actually had the Tandies when I first started. Like it was PS9, PS7, black screen, no internet. Everything was in DOS.
Oh wow.
And we would have to hand key every single obituary.
Wow.
Because because we didn't have really have we had one email and it was like.
And this is every day, every night that you all are putting this out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we had one internet, so trying to find photos at like 28K. Was taking 5 minutes to download one photo.
Oh my goodness.
Brittany, you might be able to look this up and see. I don't know. What was our rough estimated, like for Hardin County? What was our population then versus where we're at now versus some of the projections that we've heard?
I think we're like 130,000 now.
That's what I was thinking was around 130.
What it was in
like
like 2000?
I think we've gone up at least 25 or 30. I don't think we broke 100,000 until maybe after 2000.
Really? So it was a little.
I think so. I think we've grown that fast.
That's crazy, and I know and I hate to put Brittany on the spot like that, but she's got the computer over there, so
it says it's roughly 93,000.
That sounds is what it, in 2000 roughly 93,000. So it would have been after 2000 that we kind of broke over that, and then. And again, please do not take this and say, oh my gosh, where did you hear this? I've just heard, that there's projections up in the 165, 175 range in the next 10 years.
And also, like Kevin Parrott, if you follow him, I think he's in Rio de Janeiro right now, hanging out in Shantytown. Yeah, I saw that on Fast and the Furious. That's a documentary. He's hanging off that one cliff that you see. I'm like, I like to travel, not that adventurous.
Not that brave.
But he points out that, and this is something I never thought of until he pointed up, Etown is not just city limits. It's the zip code population.
Okay.
Like, where I live, I'm outside the zip code.
Yep.
We're still Etown.
You're considered county, but
true.
you're still Etown.
You're
so
still
you're
Etown.
not
I grew up at
voting
Glendale
Etown.
Junction. That's still Etown. Like you've got lots of people that are outside the city limits. I think there's like 33,000 inside, 17,000 outside.
Oh wow.
You could have to have a 42701 zip code or 42702. I was like, Etown's a lot bigger than people assume it is because they only look at the zip code.
Correct.
So given that and the population that we have, and you've made this your home base, right? This is
home. Like I've talked to, like even if I won the lottery, which I did not.
I wish we had. If any of us were in California,
I would have a hard time
right?
moving away. Like I've traveled. Like if you see my posts, I love Disney. I love Gatlinburg. I'm going back to Gatlinburg this coming weekend. I wouldn't want to move down there. Like I feel for the people that work in Knoxville and drive and work in Gatlinburg, or those UT kids, because that traffic is. We don't have that. At least not. Yes. If there's a wreck on Ring Road or there's a train going through downtown. Or if school's getting out of Etown or Central Hardin, you might have some traffic, but not on a constant basis where you can't go light after light.
Right.
And that's one thing I like about this community is like, yes, we are a city, or we're either a big small town or a small big city, every way you will look at it. But we don't have those huge traffic problems. We don't have the crime that, like, I could never live in Louisville. try to watch the news 4 days a week out of Wave 3 and not hear of a murder or a crime.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Well, and go ahead.
No, go ahead. with
Well,
your
I was just
question.
going to say two things. So one, you mentioned your wife being a travel agent. I want you to shout her out and her company. So,
Yeah.
I definitely want you to do that. But number two, it's something that we're going to talk about on another episode upcoming that we've talked about with credit card points and how to use a lot of that stuff to book trips and all that. But given that, what is it that about here that you can travel the world, but this is where you want to come home to? Like, you can see everywhere else and you can love it, but you don't want to live there. This is where you want to be from.
There's a variety of reasons for that. One of which is like, I hate it. I got mad when people said, you live out in Podunk. I said, do I really? I said, all right, 2.5 hours north, straight up 65, is Indianapolis. One of the best children's museums you're ever going to see. I went as an adult. That place is incredible. I would go back.
Yeah.
You've got the Pacers. You've got the Colts. You go 2.5 hours south, you've got Nashville.
Yep.
You've got the Opry with the best country music shows, or pretty good chance you're going to see a country star that week if somebody's there. Opry Mills is great shopping. You've got the Predators. You've got the Titans. You go 2 hours east, you've got Cincinnati, Kings Island, Reds. Like, you've got 6 or 7 pro teams within 3 hours.
Yeah.
You've got the ability to fly out of. I don't think it's hard for us to fly. Do we have our own airport? Not necessarily, but you can fly out of Louisville. You can fly out of Lexington. I've flown out of Cincinnati before.
Nashville even.
Nashville,
Which they're getting crazy.
Nashville all the time.
Yeah, and it's a great
I've been to
area.
Orlando twice in the next, I think, 6 months, and both of them are Nashville, Tampa, and not MCO.
And you get good prices on those by just going down to Nashville a little bit and down there. It's great.
Well, plus Nashville has a lot more great prices. I always usually fly Southwest. I'm like, I don't need.
I'm a Southwester too.
And I can use the points. And like one of my other trips, I went from one of my cruises. Was able to use a lot of Southwest points.
Yeah.
And it knocked it way down. But I love the fact that we are here. We are in this zone. Is that if you want to be? I've seen people go for Atlanta for a weekend. I've done Gatlinburg, left at lunch, been there by dinner, left at breakfast, been there by lunch, stayed till 12, still back by, so I can still work the next day. I was like, I love the fact that you've got Gatlinburg that close away. I've driven to Huntsville. I love Huntsville and the Rocket Place. The fact that you could drive to Panama City Beach, you don't have to fly.
Yeah.
You could drive to Orlando if you really want to.
You can even get to Chicago in what are we, 5.5?
Oh yeah, I know a bunch
away
of people
from
that will go watch a Cubs game.
Yeah.
Or go watch
for a weekend trip.
Yeah.
It's nothing to get up there.
Like
We
I
are so
first
central.
started going to Michigan. I'd never been to Michigan until the last 2 years. I love Holland, Michigan. I love Frankenmuth. I was like, why did I not go earlier?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that you could go to the Great Lakes, which we went in the summer, it was fun. Like you've got Cleveland and Cedar Point, which you've got one of the best roller coaster things. You could easily do Cedar Point in a day. Like
And
at least
that's what-
drive on a Friday, do it all day Saturday, come back on Sunday.
And that's what you think makes this home such a great
Oh,
place to be a base.
This is home. It's like showing my age again here, but Etown's nickname used to be the Hub City because I-65, WK Parkway, Lincoln Parkway, Bluegrass Parkway, 62, all these roads converging. Like outside of the
trying to
metro
close it.
area, we were it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like we connected the western side of the state to the eastern side of the state.
Yep.
And the fact that we've been able to grow and expand, we're not just a hub city. We're a city of our own. Whether Fort Knox evolves and changes, we are self-sufficient. Like we used to be considered Louisville Metro, and I don't think people realize this. Etown has its own metro area. We have our own. It's called Brittany, look it up. It's called the Elizabethtown MSA. And I think it's got over like 150, 200,000 people in what we call our radius.
Wow.
And the fact that we've grown into that, people are like, oh, you're still a small town. Small towns don't have MSA. Small towns don't have 4 subways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Small towns don't have 2 Krogers, about to be 3.
I call it a big small town.
Yes.
It used to be a small town, but we've grown so much. It's a really big small town. It's still got that feel.
Yep.
And I would just say the
But,
same thing.
you know.
We're a big small town, or we're a small city with hometown
Feels to
connections,
it.
hometown ambassadors. But we still have the same people you see at church every Sunday.
Yes.
People that you went to school with 20 years ago, you're probably still seeing around town.
Yep.
And that's cool to me. I was actually talking to one of my former classmates last night about Etown Swim. I was like, we all grew up going to Etown Swim.
Oh, yeah.
And the changes and what's going to happen there. And I was like, I don't know. I can't tell you. I can tell you for a fact, as of this recording, it has not been sold. Officially, that has not happened. But
And it may after this, we don't know.
yeah,
We're
and
not
no,
live,
the city
but-
cannot buy it. Please stop.
No, I get that. And you're just trying to basically put the things out there of there's a lot of stuff that goes into all of this, right?
And some people don't realize what can happen, what can't happen.
For sure.
Like I said, my dad helped design Etown Swim.
That's awesome.
So,
That
like I
is
said,
so
I've got
cool.
that card. He helped design Movie Palace too. So that's sad to me that 2 of the things that were part of my childhood. I'm sure a lot of our first dates were at Movie Palace or group dates or hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching Independence Day there on July 4th. I remember watching Lion King there. I mean,
holding the first hand, going to 5th grade,
Awkward
thinking
first
you were
kiss
just
on the
mom.
outside.
Yeah, mom dropped you off. Mom, go away. Like,
Yes.
she's gonna be here soon, or he's gonna be here.
The fact that you
soon,
can butter your own popcorn and use as much butter as you want compared to Cinema 3. And it's sad to see those things, but it's also in the name of progress. As like we've seen what's becoming in the mall and the new transformation that Tim Allback has brought onto that. Like, I don't think there would have been any way we would get Malibu Jacks without that vision.
for sure.
Bigger bills. Victoria's Secret. This is not secret. This has been announced. Victoria's Secret's going to end up with a bigger store.
That's great.
Bath and Body Works is going to end up with a bigger store. Etown Comics. I've met Maxwell online. He follows me. He was able to get his own exterior entrance.
Great.
He's been able to do things.
I think I just saw that the other day. It's on the back side, right?
Yeah.
That's what, I saw that the other day.
I
going
think
in there.
American Eagle might be moving next door because due to construction, I think they're in that corridor that's going to have to get cut out.
Yeah.
Sam's Gyro had to move out. I met Sam. He does a great job. He will be moving out to next to Captain D's, where that GameStop. There's an empty spot near that GameStop. Sam's Gyros will be going there as Sam's
Is that where
Gyros.
like Kanzai and that
Yeah,
area right there
the
is?
Kanzai building.
Yeah. Okay.
For some reason I couldn't think of the name of it, but yeah, he'll be going there. So Sam's Gyros will be moving out, which it's getting blown up. Like the food court, the old entrance, it's gone. If it's still brown at the mall, just to clarify things, if the paint's still brown, that part's going to be gone. That's why it hasn't been painted yet. Because it's painted to the mall.
Why isn't it painted right now?
Because it's big. But
We just thought they forgot to paint that part.
Yeah.
You want the demolition to look really good before they destroy it? Okay, sure. So he'll be moving out, and then the soup place was trying to find a place in Radcliffe, so that they moved out too, and
Is there anything left in the mall food court?
I think it was just Sam's, right?
it was Sam's
Okay.
and the soup and salad place.
I saw him around Christmas time. I went in there, and I get why he would have. I mean, the place, there was a line, ready to get some of his.
I've always had
stuff.
good service there.
Yeah.
Like I just became a, however you say the word, gyro hero.
I didn't say it
hero.
because I was so scared I was going to get it wrong.
GYRO. But I had never really had one about 2 years. I'm not a very adventurous eater anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I've run into like gyros, like Woohoo, another small business.
Yeah.
They've always treated me great. They've started learning me by now. It's like, hey, you're that guy.
I do love Woohoos.
But I've liked to see how they took an old gas station and converted
So
it.
cool.
They've cleaned it up. They've done a new pergola. They've cleaned up other stuff. Just watch how they've developed and grown and got their own.
Especially as a small business.
Yeah.
They've
sure.
done a really great job.
For sure.
So I know Etown has a lot of obviously big stuff that's coming in because we're growing. And you've also mentioned you're a creature of habit. What
I
would
am.
you say is the hidden gem that more people should know about?
As far as personally, 2 things. Vietnam Wall. I don't think people realize that it's not like a cardboard, or it's the real Vietnam Wall, people. The fact that more people aren't visiting it and seeing that, they put a lot of effort into that over at the nature park.
Yeah.
And Saunders Springs. Like the very first time I went, I got one of the best photos and videos. Like I told somebody, if I won the lottery, I would give you all like $1 million to pave or do whatever if you could keep that waterfall going.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not there.
Yeah.
I had heard at one point they were going to close it out. Did they decide not to do that, or was that just rumor?
No, they've talked about maybe making part of Redmar Plaza part of like a parking area for that. But I love Saunders Springs.
I do too.
Now getting down there can be a little bit of a trek, especially if I'm not driving the truck in my little Corolla.
Well, I did
But-
my high school senior pics there, so I know it's a beautiful area.
Oh, I
It's
saw
just
plenty
awesome.
of people having graduation parties there, and I've liked how they've expanded. I mean, we've seen it grow. Like they've had that side lot, they've had more parking, they've expanded the pavilions quite a bit. That's gorgeous. Like that, I've been to several Gatlinburg parks. It's just as nice.
Yeah.
But because it's not the Great Smoky Mountains, people think, as far as restaurants, I mean, I don't think it's really a hidden gem, but Dooster's is. The ice cream is so good. They are award winning. I've never had a bad moment ever in that place. They're always so friendly.
Nicest
It's always
people.
so clean. There's a reason it gets the reviews that it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
If it's a Saturday in the summer, I'm going to Lakers.
Yeah.
Give me that Give me that greasy burger. And
Milkshakes
okay.
shakes out, you know it.
I actually saw somebody posted a photo of like old photos of Hardin County, and they had the original Lakers slide. I was like, I would pay to bring that back. If I could talk to Kyle Hammer or somebody.
Yeah.
Do what you can to get that slide back.
Well, and I've become, I'm a TikToker. I'm a big TikToker. I know some of us are, and seeing some of these food reviews in Etown from like the Luke Foods and things like that.
Oh,
now,
I
too.
see. Yeah, he's growing.
Yeah, and
He
he's
is
been
super
growing.
cool.
It's been so
love
fun
him.
to see some of those places and helping small businesses here just as far as food goes. You know,
And I've reached out to like Pappy's. I'm not a huge taco guy, but
Yeah.
both places we've been to both downtown, and I've been to one in Radcliffe. I've been to both in Etown. Had great service there. It was friendly.
Yeah.
Thought it was really good food. It was local. It was fresh. I was like, they're another one that's grown. locally. Little Charlie's. I've made friends with
My
Izzy
husband
Darkwood.
loves Little Charlie's. We
That's
just had it for lunch
you'll see me
yesterday.
post about them. I did not know Zeke at all until they got here. But I like if our mall had a Sbarro, that's where I would be. We're old enough to remember the old Luca Pizza in the mall before it became Sam's.
Yeah.
But I like that greasy, big New York. I like their garlic knots. I like their chicken bacon ranch pizza, and we've gotten a relationship there that like I'll put. He knows if I post and say if I'm at Little Charlie's, he's about to get hit. And he'll tell me, he's like, "Thanks, man."
But that's so cool. That's the effect of what you're able
And
to
somebody
bring
called
to
it
these
the name
businesses.
effect. I'm like, that is
Oh, the name
bizarre to
effect.
me.
I love it.
It's like I made one post about, I don't know if it was like Malibu Jacks, but it had 100 likes in like 10 minutes. And the corner's like, didn't you just post that? I was like, yeah, I've got 26,000 followers on Twitter, and I'm going to get more likes about a cat cafe. I can say somebody siding with this or somebody got fired. It's going to be the cat cafe.
Well, that's kind of what happened to us with this podcast, right? So we were together. We'll tell the little story, right? Yeah. We were together and we were like, all right, how are we going to put this out? How are we going to put out what we're doing, get people excited about it? And as you'll see, or you probably already seen on the first episode, we thought it was going to be our parents and some friends watching, right? Yeah. And we said, well, how can we get this out there more? And we were like, well, here's some of the pages that people post to community, and it was in 2 hours. We were having like 200 likes and a bunch of names to have on here. And we were texting and calling each other and getting excited, right, about what was going to happen. And it's crazy how quickly things on social media can kind of pop off now. And it made us, we had, and we still have those same guests coming on, but it made us kind of do a pivot and a U-turn on like, okay, where is this thing going? Because we talked about, we didn't know where this thing was going. I think we got a better idea now.
Yeah. I would love for you, we had asked him to shout out his wife. I'd love for you to be able to share her business and the travel side of things.
Yes, her name is Courtney Bryan. She has a page. It's called Share the Magic Travel - Courtney Bryan. So if you type her up, she will do everything from one-night getaways in Gatlinburg to help you plan a Disney cruise. We love Disney cruises. We've been on two. We love Royal. This year will be our 5th Royal cruise. She loves cruises. Somebody wants to do an all-inclusive. She's been begging to try to finally get one done.
I'm calling her.
I love that.
So this is where it's at.
And the thing is we didn't know this until she got into it. She just kind of did it because we like to travel. It's like, okay. And she was worried that, hey, I need to find something else in case I do lose my job or something. In the case we do get sold, something like that, I need a fallback plan. Yeah. And she's grown it. And she did over about 100,000 in sales this year, did 50,000. So she's growing year over year, which has been great. But one thing about travel agents is that they do not get paid at all for looking stuff up for you. Like, okay, where could I stay in Gatlinburg near the Strip? Okay, you could stay at Margaritaville if you want a really nice one. If you want one off that beaten edge, you stay at Johnson's Inn or Jack Huff and then walk by Subway. But if you book without her, she gets paid nothing. Wow. And when you book with her, so a lot of people don't realize is that even when you book with Expedia is a travel agency.
Right. Yeah. Right.
People forget that they are. So they get commission after you go on vacation. So if I booked, we're going to Universal in February. So if I booked with her or Expedia, whoever I do it with, in March, after they have proven that one, you went on it, you didn't just book it and take it back out or cancel it, they'll get a commission check.
Yeah.
But so this is a great way to keep that commission that's already going to someone.
Yeah,
local.
keep it local. Like, I always say that about, like, I know other area travel agents, they're all great. Like, this isn't a rivalry I'm trying to start or anything. AAA is a travel agency. So whether you book with AAA or not, that price is built in. Whether you buy tickets, Disney tickets with a travel agent, or you buy it with Disney, at least if you buy with the travel agents, somebody else is making money other than the mouse.
Well, and I say that you got 2 realtors in here that probably know all too well that they can show 30 houses and
never get paid.
It's
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Courtney's been through that too, and it's rough. When somebody said, "Okay, can you help me book a honeymoon?" So, all right, do you want a cruise? Do you want a beach? Do you want mountains? And she goes through all that, and then they said, "Oh, okay, thanks." Then turns out then they book with somebody else, or they just change their mind to do something completely different.
Right.
We didn't make a single cent off that effort.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of have, it's obvious to me your love and passion for Hardin County, and it makes me more excited to watch your posts in the future because I truly feel like your intentions behind those posts are so genuine and good. Like I see just like the way you like to point out these small businesses and the fact that they get hit quickly after. Like that makes me excited for our community to just have you a part of it. But I guess 2 questions for you is, one, what do you see yourself continuing to do in this space? Like, do you see growth in the way you're approaching your what you're currently doing, or is this kind of what we can expect from you going forward? And then I think the other piece I would love to ask is like, where do you see Kentucky, Etown, Hardin County in 10 years from now? Like, what are some of the things that you see coming down the pipe and you're like, I don't know if this will ever happen. However, I expect to see this. And so.
All right. So the first one is like, I saw all the effort that you all did. And obviously, we're not going to have a video showing all the cords going everywhere. But I used to do it. Like, I remember talking to Brittany off stage. Whenever she came to HEC TV, you saw the studio, you saw the mic checks. I don't want to do any of that. Yeah. While I'm good at doing updates, I'm lazy when it comes to other stuff. So, no. About the best you're going to get me is probably maybe a WordPress blog post or maybe a website that could document Etowns. Okay, update on Wingstop. Again, still don't know when it's opening, but asking. But does it look like it was anytime soon? Like, when is Wawa going to break ground? I don't know, but they're still coming. But I don't want to get into TikTok videos. It's like, I'm not a dancer. I'm not very creative. I don't like editing
either.
Come on, Nathaniel. Just
like,
a little dancing with
I help Courtney with her I do help her with her post. No, she does word everything. I'll edit it because I used to be a professional editor at one point in my life. But like trying to edit on that phone and not have that go where I want to go, it's like, this is bothering me. There's no way I can do this every single day for stuff. It's like, so basically, like, I will, like, you want somebody on to do updates. I told Kevin Jaggers, quick see you. If you want me on, I will. It's like, oh, okay, can you tell us what's going on? It's like, hey, here's a quick update from Nate. Here's what we got going on. Yeah. No problem with that. Like, I don't make any money doing this. I have a good job. I love my Best Buy job. My benefits are fantastic. I was out, pitched an order for 6 weeks, fully paid. Most companies will do that. Like, I didn't have to fear for anything. There's no, okay, when you come back, you're going to have to deal with this and that. No, that my boss said, get well, get healthy. We want you back. And she actually had,
it's always good to work for a company
about the
like
space
that.
of the area. She lives in Meade County and drives to Shepherdsville every day. I live in Etown, drive to Shepherdsville every day. But there's several people that from Best Buy that do that. As far as what's coming to Etown, is like, I've heard Norton. This would be one of the rumors that you go on my Facebook. I put under rumors. I put rumors,
which means that it is not confirmed.
Yeah,
it is not confirmed. Do not hate on him.
Do not hate on me. Do not say I was wrong. Somebody said Norton's to the WK Ring Road intersection. That wouldn't shock me.
For sure.
And I think people have been clamoring for another. Like, I say this as the son of a medical professional and a nephew of medical professionals. We need another option. We're growing so fast.
Yeah.
And if the plant gets happened, I'm not sure. Go back way back when HMH. I'm still
I still call it.
I still do
too. I'm guilty. HMH, Baptist, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure they can handle all that too. Like, they're already
we got a lot of growth.
Building, a lot of growth. So a new hospital wouldn't shock me at all. More restaurants. I've heard everything from Raising Cane's, which would be great. I know.
Don't get me started on that.
There's something I can't say that's going to happen in 2025. Something's going to happen. It will be nice. People will like it. But it's still too early for me to reveal what's going to happen on camera. But when it gets announced, I'm sure you'll have those people on. It'll be good for you. Yeah. So you'll see some new names and faces coming to joining the Etown franchises. I'm excited to see what the mall does with the 4 eateries because they said, like, I'm sure Tim can't name them yet because the people don't even know what they're moving into. They don't even. Yeah. I think you want to see. I would hope that how many realtors, how many people have bought houses completely blind.
I mean, it takes a lot of work.
Military, it might have happened once or twice. No, but really, we show them the house beforehand, like a virtual tour or whatever. But nobody wants to buy sight unseen most of the time.
That's why people say, well, he should know what restaurants are coming. Like, until you see the space, until you see who's around you, what the traffic count is, what the daily foot count is, what the hours are going to be, how it looks, how's the lighting, how's the parking. There's so many factors you got to factor in. So when people say, okay, they doesn't know what's coming there, it's like, you can't blame him for that. That's not fair. No. We're not even to that point.
Yeah.
It's still the old mall.
Well, I think I'm just so excited. I don't care what goes there as long as it's not empty.
Well, I think we hear about it and then we expect these things to happen in 6 months. These things take time.
Like
a massive project.
There's another popular one. They have said that they're focusing on the other ones first before it gets there. Publix. So that Publix sign went up. 4 people said it to me. 3 people I didn't even know. Like, hey, Nate, the Publix sign's up. I was like, shoot, I got to drive out the Publix. The Wingstop sign went up. Somebody else saw it while they were driving, took a picture of it.
I think it was Rachel. Am I wrong in that?
Well, I literally
you were one of the ones
right down the road. I just went through the intersection. Was like, click. I mean, it wasn't. I didn't go out of my way. This man goes out of his way.
Or the Valdez Jack sign started going up. I had like version 1, version 2, version 3, what people had sent me.
They're there right now.
I like the fact that other people are excited too. That we're excited to see what happens with the mall or Wawa, Publix. Because Publix is going to be a huge development. It's not just Publix. It's going to be, I think it's going to have 3 or 4 outlots for restaurants. It's going to have another strip mall, so there's probably other people that might move over there, whether it's somebody like a GameStop, which we've seen in the other shopping centers or something like that. So there's some Lincoln Center's got building 3 that's already up. Building 4 is on the opposite side. And then they also have building 5. So there's 16, 17 more spots, which will actually, once Lincoln Center gets those done, will actually be the biggest shopping center in Hardin and Etown, because you'll have 8 or 7. So like 34 different businesses. And I love that you can just park and walk to any of them.
It's easy.
Like, it's a very eclectic mix. I like Toasted Yolk. I'm not a big drinker, so I haven't done Tequila House too many times, but I liked it when I went in there.
Wasabi's good over there.
Yeah, Wasabi's over there. Wasabi Express, that's been announced. Wasabi Express
What's
is
that
coming.
little neat grocery store right there?
They closed. That was Cat's Kitchen.
Yeah, Cat's Kitchen.
There's various reasons for why they closed. So that's there. You've got the Poppy's Tacos that moved out there.
Yep, the new Poppy's is out there. I think Out on the Vine was out there at one point.
They were. Now they're
downtown.
Where Coley's used to be.
Where Coley's
But it was a proof of concept to say, hey, this could work.
Yeah.
And I like having them downtown too. It's like watching downtown. Like, I was one of those. I was wrong about the State Theater. When I was at the News Enterprise, I said it's a waste. Tear down the thing.
Yeah.
Now I can't name how many times I've been there to watch stuff.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see old movies, play there. It's just so nostalgic. My kids love The Grinch, and so they make it a thing. Every year, they play it at the movie theater. So it's cool to be able to go back and see, the nostalgia of like how it used to look, and they're preserving that. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm the only one that went and saw the Eric and Joe show. And,
that's become
for
a
sure.
massive thing, right?
They were like,
Everybody
oh, hey,
loves that.
thanks for putting
guys
that out there. And I was just like, you're all the ones that are doing it. You're all the ones that are raising the hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're all the ones that are doing all this choreography. Like, you don't want me dancing on stage. I did karaoke once on Royal Caribbean. It did not go well.
We want videos. We're asking your
doesn't
wife.
for
We
me
want those
either.
videos.
Well, the wife has it. It better not get out. And there's these.
We'll air that later.
No, not the out ones. But the fact that we have that in Etown, and I think you go back and look at the calendar. Like, it's almost every Friday in February, you have a former big star that's coming to downtown Etown, which is good for. Also helps Bourbon Barrel Tavern, helps Imp's Pizza, helps JR Neighbors.
Yeah,
like you said, the supplementary businesses that help, like Lot, come in to help Bourbon or to help the battery plant. The supplementary businesses thrive off that. Like, and we've seen it. I grew up going to Louisville Sluggers games or Louisville Bats games, or people have been to Louisville whenever Louisville's basketball's in town. All those businesses around Yum, all those restaurants that are always filled with all the basketball fans. Or Nashville, whenever the Predators games happen or there's something going on at the Opry, you'll see lots of people around. The fact that we've been able to watch downtown grow into that, and downtown's going to continue to grow. I know Social Main, like I said, Wasabi Express is coming to Social Main. You've got a gastro pub.
I'm excited for that.
An unnamed gastro pub is going across the street in the former 3-decade arcade.
And a social, what a cool concept. I mean, as your shirt shows, and it's
well, I saw y'all's picture. I'm pretty sure that follow along was still there when I went there last night to buy the shirt.
Yes.
I tried going everywhere last night, saying, okay, who has an Etown shirt?
I've been wanting to get an Etown hat, and I'm sitting here like, we're doing so much of this stuff now, and not that this is just Etown. This is all Hardin County and all the surrounding areas of Etown.
Something that we could use. A place that sells Etown stuff.
Oh, we would love it. Yeah, some Etown branded stuff. I would love it.
Maybe the Tourism Bureau does, but
We'll have
I
to
work
check
at night,
that.
so I'm not gonna go there.
Yeah.
They were open last night, but I think we drove around 6:00 because I went to like Walgreens. And I know they have Central and Etown stuff, but they didn't have a single Etown Kentucky shirt. And I missed that the old store in the mall, the True Kentucky, because it did have. I think it said Etown Home, maybe if I remember correctly.
Yep. They had a lot of good stuff there, but. Well, Brittany, I think we've come up with a little bit of a concept. Do you have those by chance, the rapid fire questions to kind of?
Yes, absolutely.
So we're going to try something on you, and we kind of put some of those out there. They're questions that we hope that you've seen. We're going to try to rapid fire and get some quick answers from you on things that we hope that you can not necessarily give insight to, but just what you want to see, things like that. So take it away, Brittany.
All right, I'm going to have 5 that I'm shooting at you. You ready?
Bring it.
All right, what's your favorite local restaurant?
Little Charlie's.
Best local outdoor activity?
Sonder Springs, just being by Creekside to listen to the water.
One word you use to describe our area?
Awesome. And I said that in the Facebook post. I'm excited to go on here. This is an awesome area to be. I've been in other places that doesn't have all 100. People forget we have 140 restaurants in this area. I've been to probably
It's a lot.
70 of them, probably all 4 Subways, all the McDonald's.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I've checked all those off the list. the fact that we've got Freeman Lake that's come so far, a town
Beautiful.
vibe that's coming back to life thanks to, I think you said you're going to have Carl Swope on later on, Kevin Addington, LaRue, Todd Davis, all black. People are like, the mall is going like, this is a great area to be. It's a great time to be here. And it's awesome living here.
Yes, yes. Favorite event or festival in our community?
Favorite event, Christmas in the Park. Like it's
yeah.
gotten awards.
yeah.
Like I've got people that work at Best Buy with me will come to Hardin County, will eat dinner and drive Christmas in the park.
I didn't realize how far people will travel to come look there, or
Really?
to come see it.
I
Yeah,
hadn't
a
heard
couple
that. I didn't know
hours.
that.
Something I just did a few weeks ago, and I helped build them up, was Thomas Dairy Farm, the Thomas Dairy Farm Christmas lights. We went one day right before it rained, and then came out. And the next week, I put it out there. They said they got hundreds of people that saw my post.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
So that was
so
a
cool.
fun. I think it was $10. It was very cool. They had Santa out there. They had fire pits. It's something that just like something I just
Was
didn't
that-
get. Oh no, Thomas Dairy Farm is about a mile. So if you go towards Central, it's about a mile
62.
past on 62 on the way to Lakers, but it's like exactly 1 mile from Central. Like you can
missed
see the
that.
Central Hardin
Right.
construction. It's
Yes.
very close.
Is it already closed down for the year?
For the
think
Christmas
so.
lights, they
Okay.
did. They did.
Well, next
They'll bring
year.
it back. They also did a pumpkins. They also did something.
Pumpkin.
Yeah, they
I
did.
did go to that one. I wish I had. I heard it was very great. That's how the name
Yes.
got back in my mind.
They have a slide that you go down and everything.
Saw that.
The kids come out real hot, but it's fun.
It was very neat.
Yes. And last one, if you could change one thing about our area, what would it be?
The perception of it is that some people perceive that we're still in Louisville shadows.
Yeah.
That we're a small town with nothing else. There's nothing to do here. It's like, okay, let's see. You've got a place where we had Axe Play. They are closing. It'll probably be closed by the time this airs. But you've got axes that you could throw at Extreme. You've got, after Cosmic opens, we'll have 4 miniature golf courses. I think we grew up
Yeah.
with 0 unless you remember Tee It Up. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one like
Yeah.
it was on off 62
Right.
as well. But yeah, I used
Tee It Up
to.
was owned by the Aikens. I played out there a couple times. You got 4 places to go. You can't play that many miniature golf courses in Lexington or Bowling Green. I don't even think Louisville has 4.
Yeah.
You've got indoor go-karts now. You've got Sky's the Limit, and they're about to expand. I'm not breaking any news when I said they've said it in their post. We've got some big things planning. Sky's the Limit indoor trampoline park. You've got a really nice renovated movie theater. I love Crown Point.
Yeah.
We granted, I just went and saw Mufasa and sat in the second row looking straight up, but at least I got
Take
in.
a couple rows back there. You're right.
I love being like row G compared to
Yeah.
B, but I got in. But the fact
And then the
that
growth, the bowling alley.
the bowling alley been renovated again, I was like, you say all
Amazing
that, and
area.
I made a post about that, and I can bring it back up, is that social online video game lounge, 4 different types of bowling now once Malibu Jacks gets here. Or
Yeah.
miniature golf, go-karts, laser tag, arcades,
So many things for the
trampoline.
kids.
Like, you know what I just subscribed? The Pigeon Forge Strip. You know what I also just subscribed? Etown, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
right.
I've watched when the sports park first developed and people were still going to Cart Country and Kentucky Kingdom. Now they're staying here.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how much we've grown.
Yeah.
And there's more stuff on the way. I've heard rumors of some other things that Malibu Jack still has bowling to open. Mountain Peak still has an expansion. Sky's the Limit's going to have some stuff. Blazers, it's going to have another expansion. Cosmic Golf will be.
I think that thing's going to
Huge.
blow up. I'm
It's
a
gonna blow
golfer
up.
myself, so I'm ready for it.
And I played that. I
ready
played
for
2
it.
holes. John let me play 2 holes of miniature golf. I got 5 or 6 on both. I said it will be the most challenging.
So
miniature
it's a challenge.
golf.
Okay, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
The fact that we've grown up here, all of us have, and watched this just develop and bloom. And from the realtors who have put in the housing that have allowed it to happen, to working with businesses. Hey, this would be a good spot for you. Here's why. I love living here. Like
Yeah.
that's what drives me. It's like I love Gatlinburg, but I don't like the traffic. I love Mickey
Yes.
Mouse, don't like the humidity.
Well, and I do. I love that answer on that final question of perception, because that's what we're trying to change about what this area is the perception that it has. And we really appreciate you coming on. We were so excited to have you. There was a lot of people who wanted you on, and to be honest, we had discussions about it before too, but we were trying to figure out how we were going to do this whole thing, and you helped.
Like I heard the list of people y'all have coming on, and I would love to hear from them too, because like the Renaissance group, Addington and Swope and LaRue have been huge and having downtown. Like they're the people that I'm just the guy with the phone. They are the people that saw the vision and put in the money and put in the time and put in the effort and didn't listen to the naysayers about
I
watching
agree.
Etown. Like I wrote off Etown's downtown years ago.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm okay being wrong.
Right, and we're excited about it. And so we will be trying to put out our episodes. Just follow our Facebook. We're trying to put them out every 2 weeks on Wednesdays, if I'm thinking right. Trying to put them out Wednesday mornings. So our next episode will be 2 weeks from this airing. And can we talk, not anything about it, can we talk about who the next guest is yet?
Yeah, you can talk about it.
You talk. Yeah, you take it
Well,
away.
I am super excited. So our next guest will be the one and only Jimmy Jenkins. So there's a big concert series that you might have heard rumored about, and so we are excited. He's actually going to, if we can time everything correctly, going to be willing to release some of those artist names with us. And of course, not just specifically that, super excited to talk to him about his life. He's born and raised here. His family is all here. How he got into the sod business, but he's also in the construction business. I get to work with him selling his homes and lots. And so super excited to sit down with him next. We'll be bringing him right here. He'll be in the hot seat.
That's right. Well, we're excited for it. Thanks again, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Nathaniel, thank you so much. If
Thank
people
you.
wanted to reach out to you to whether it's be aired because they have new stuff coming up or just to follow like where you post,
I'm on Twitter X, and Nate in Sports, Natein Sports. On Facebook, it's Nathaniel Bryan. You'll see my lovely face with Courtney. I think it's our Hawaiian picture from when we went to Hawaii. Find me there. I'm on almost every single Etown group that you can find. Just if you want to send me a message, send me a comment. I don't think I turned any of them off.
And we'll try to drop some of those handles in the.
absolutely.
Yeah, but
video
I
as
just
well.
reach out there. Like, I'm not going to. Even somebody said, like I said, when they called me a fraud, I said, well, you only listen to certain people. Like, none of these people. I didn't have any ties with Doosters. I've worked with no ties with Little Charlie, no ties with you all.
Yeah.
Other than her from 15 years ago. About this is that, but yeah, just reach out to me. That's all you got to do. It's like, if it's worthwhile, I'll share. I'll put my comments in. And if people pick up, great, fantastic. Because I'm not going to charge you. It's like the worst I'm going to say is no, or I just didn't see it. But I'm not like, say, oh yeah, give me $100, then I might give you my time. No, I don't work that way. It'd be nice if I could pull off. I have that type of power. But yeah, just reach out to me. I was like, you'll see me if you see me commenting or debating. It's because hey, this is going to happen because of my knowledge. This is why. Like, this is why this can go here. This is why this can't go here. This is why we don't meet their demographic. Like, I would love to have a Whole Foods at a Trader, but I just don't think we meet the demographics. If we're wrong, great.
Right.
More growth for us. More stuff we talk about. More stuff for y'all to help promote as realtors. Like, hey, just so you know, if you're a food junkie, we got Whole Foods at Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
So if I'm wrong, I'm glad to be wrong.
Well,
Yes.
awesome.
Well, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
We
appreciate you
appreciate
coming
it.
on and watch our next episode of
Yeah.
Hometown Hustle.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
We'll see you in 2
See
weeks.
you next time.